Well, today we're going to talk about oppositional defiant disorder. The reason I want to talk about it is because if you see it in your children, in your family, it needs to stop. 50% of it is genetic. The other comes from environmental factors, like if there's many in your family and you're unsupervised or inconsistent parenting. Like there were 8 kids in my family. How can you watch them all? How can you keep a finger on each one? No, there wasn't much supervision. Unfortunately, I have 2 identical sisters, and I had 2 brothers that had oppositional defiant disorder. Up until recently, I just didn't know what it was. But I do know what it was. I saw symptoms of it in myself, and I immediately wanted to get therapy and help with it because I do not want it. The characteristics of being defiant disorder, oppositional defiant disorder, is you blame others, whether it's your fault or not, you're going to blame someone else, and you never apologize because that makes you appear weak, they think. So they don't apologize, but they continue to try to be in your life and be nice and hope you'll forget about what they did to you. And they just blame shift. They never apologize, never learn from their consequences. So you don't give them consequences. Revenge is the way that they think. And to get over something, they just try to be nice and hope you'll forget about it, like I said. But their signals and their characteristics, they lose their temper quickly. They have outbursts of anger at any given time. When you least expect it. Like I had one sister that blew up in front of a hotel that we were staying at, and she turned around and screamed at my husband and I and said, "I am fine!" And she continued to stand there in front of this bustling crowd, the doors swinging in and out, and walked 20 feet in front of us. Needless to say, we didn't take her anywhere anymore because we don't know when she's going to explode. They're touchy and others annoy them. They don't like to be touched. They don't like to be hugged. So just forget that. They like to argue and they refuse to comply. I told her at the airport, you can only carry 2 ounces in a jar. Any more than that, you can't. I said, you don't have anything heavier than that, do you? No. Well, we get up there and her bag gets examined, and he pulls out this huge bottle of lotion. She said, oh, well, it was only $5. Well, still, she knew that she wasn't supposed to take it, but yet she was going to try to sneak it on anyway, and she refused to comply. They deliberately annoy and upset others, and they get a thrill out of it. It's what makes their adrenaline tick. Instead of channeling their rage in another way, that's how they do it. They release on others. And like I said, the blame is on the opposite, not them. They always stay mad. They're still mad at people that did things to them in high school and elementary school. So they are very unforgiving. It wreaks havoc on their workplaces. I'm trying to think. Marriages. Dating relationships, friend relationships, and especially family. It just destroys the relationships that they have with anyone. They have very few friends. Fortunately, my identical sisters that have ODD, they have each other. So I guess that keeps them satisfied or happy. They have each other, and it doesn't matter if they have anybody at all. So, but if you have anybody in your family that's angry and irritable all the time, argumentative, defiant, and vindictive, that's what it is. Now, there is therapy, there's medication, and if you can find their interest and their outlets that they like to release that energy instead of releasing it on others. But when you get a thrill out of hurting others and not ever apologizing, can you imagine how miserable they are on the inside? They're a fragile soul. So now you know what it is, ODD. And if you need help, see a therapist, see a medical doctor, have some testing done, and question other relatives and see if they agree with you. And I just have a chaperone with me wherever I go, and I refuse to let them just fly over me and think that they can easily come back into my life to try to destroy it again. I'm over them.